Intel in big trouble, class action lawsuit for 14th and 13th Gen CPU instability issues begin. The chip giant is about to face a class action lawsuit for the racking up of instability problems arising due to faulty Intel 13th and 14th Gen CPUs. A law firm has begun investigating the instability and crashing issue due to Intel 14th and 13th Gen CPUs, which might face a class action lawsuit. It looks like Intel will have a hard time getting away with such a serious problem with its faulty processors that have led to major outrage among its customers. The racking up of instability issues caused by Intel's 13th and 14th Gen CPUs has escalated to the point that is now being dealt with by Abington Cole + Ellery law firm, which specializes in class actions and intellectual property. The Post explains the issue in brief, also acknowledging the latest development in the story that revolves around the 65-watt CPUs. Intel extends warranty of boxed 14th and 13th Gen CPUs by 2 years in light of instability issues. If the lawsuit gets filed against Intel, it may result in the company to pay compensation to the affected customers. A lawyer also posted on Reddit stating that Intel is not granting RMAs to all the customers. Some users have stated that Intel has now started processing RMAs and all it requires is sending a photo of the affected CPU to get a new one as a replacement. If Intel works according to its pledge, it could mean a long and hefty RMA process that affects hundreds of thousands if not millions of such chips. The problem escalated to such a point due to the company's negligence, even though the problem has persisted for over 1 year. The affected processors have resulted in crashes and freezes in games and programs, forcing even game developers to consider AMD-based systems. Last week we saw Aldern Games implementing an in-game warning window to notify users about the cause of the crashes. There have been cases of a 100% failure rate with Intel's high-end Raptor Lake and its refresh chips that have led many users to switch to AMD platforms, especially when Intel did not process the RMA to all the impacted users, but has recently pledged to do so. We have already created a complete timeline that lists all the developments in the story since the first time the issue appeared, and looks like the new lawsuit might have a significant impact on it. The first instances of out-of-video memory issues on 13th Gen Core i9 CPUs were reported back in 2022. This is a few months after the release of Intel's 13th Gen CPUs and RTX 40 GPUs. Several users have started reporting game crashes and issues in high-profile AAA titles such as Callisto Protocol and Hogwarts Legacy, among many others. Both titles are based on Unreal Engine, released in 2023, and feature a shader compilation process at the start. There are currently thousands of such issues reported on Steam community forums and Reddit. A post by Sebastian Castellanos brings the issue to the limelight, highlighting the worrying trend of stability issues affecting 14th and 13th Gen CPUs. Our Redditor, along with various other tech outlets, start reporting the issue and bringing the matter onto the mainstream media. Quickly, it is pointed out that underclocking and undervolting the chips can result in better stability. Nvidia issued a formal statement that the stability issues are not related to its GPUs but rather Intel CPUs. Intel announces its investigation of the reports of instability issues affecting 13th and 14th Gen CPUs. Motherboard makers quickly roll out baseline power profiles in new BIOS, which lower power limits on high-end 14th and 13th Gen CPUs but also lead to significant performance drops. Intel releases a statement, recommending motherboard makers to ship Intel default settings in BIOS by default rather than customized settings. Discovers a bug within its set of microcode while investigating the root cause of 14th and 13th Gen instability issues. This doesn't fix the instability problems. Board makers quickly roll out BIOS with a new microcode fix. Denies an RMA to Hardware Times editor who already RMA'd at least 2 CPUs which produced instability issues. Wendell from Level 1 Techs and Steve Burke from Gamers Nexus are the first big tech media outlets on YouTube to further highlight the instability issues, diving into additional details such as OEM frustration with the matter and a possible recall. Gamers Nexus highlights a potential oxidation defect being a problem with a certain batch of Intel 14th and 13th Gen CPUs that might lead to instability problems. Intel says the 14th and 13th Gen mobile CPUs are not affected by the same instability issues as the desktop CPUs. Intel issues a statement confirming that they have found the root cause of the instability issues, which happen to be elevated operating voltages, and will be issuing a new microcode fix to its partners by mid of August. Intel confirmed that oxidation issues existed in a previous batch and that there's no solution for CPUs that are already degraded. Law firm initiates a possible class action lawsuit against Intel CPUs facing instability issues. Intel has promised to deliver the microcode patch in mid-August to fix the elevated voltage problem, but it does not guarantee a fix to the root cause. Still, the company has to try to fix the problem before it's too late, because it may impact the sales of next-gen Aralic desktop processors heavily.